Tiger fans have been cheering for Norm Stewart since the 1950s. Born in Shelbyville, Missouri, Stewart lettered in both basketball and baseball at MU. He played on the 1954 national champion baseball team and led the basketball team in scoring and rebounding in 1956. After playing with the NBA's St. Louis Hawks and pitching in the Baltimore Orioles organization, Stewart began his coaching career at the State College of Iowa before returning to his alma mater as head basketball coach in 1967. Over 32 seasons as head coach, Stewart won 634 games, including 17 seasons with 20 or more wins. Stewart's teams won 8 Big 8 conference championships and 6 conference tournament titles, while making 16 NCAA tournament appearances, including 2 trips to the Elite Eight. Coach Stewart is the only person in Mizzou history to be inducted into the University of Missouri Intercollegiate Athletics Hall of Fame as both a student athlete and a coach. Similarly, he has twice been inducted into the Missouri Basketball Hall of Fame, once as a player and once as a coach. He has also been inducted into the College Basketball Hall of Fame in Kansas City. However, Coach Stewart's most important accomplishment has occurred off of the basketball court. After missing part of the 1989-1990 season due to a bout with cancer, Coach Stewart created Coaches vs. Cancer, an organization dedicated to raising money for cancer awareness, research, and treatment. Coaches vs. Cancer has made a difference nationwide, with millions of dollars raised for the fight against cancer. Now let's hear more from Coach Stewart from those who know him well.
Well, first of all, Missouri gave him the opportunity to play basketball on a scholarship. Came from a small town, Shelbyville, Missouri. You know, the rest is history.
Playing for Coach Stewart was a challenge, sometimes fun, sometimes tough. He was honest. He made each of us the best we could be. He treated everyone the same, whether you're an All-American or the last player on the team. He wanted you ready for the next game. How could you be better so that the team would be better?
My senior year, we didn't lose many games, I think 6 total, because practice the next day was really tough. It wasn't the toughness so much, it was the discipline and the idea that the other team might be stronger than you are or faster than you are, but they weren't going to outwork you and they weren't going to outcompete you. That's one thing I carried through my postgraduate years. When I was in medical school, there were guys that were smarter than I was, but they weren't going to outstudy me.
You know, biggest lesson I learned from Coach was it's not what happens to you, it's how you react. And so whether being a parent, a husband, running a business, playing sports, being a curator, right? Things happen, good or bad. How do you react to that? How do you learn from it and how do you react? Every day in practice, that's all he talked about. Yesterday was done. Let's learn, let's move forward, and good or bad. And so when you learn those lessons, I carry that through life.
Hi, I'm Bill Self, head basketball coach at the University of Kansas, and I'm here to talk about one of your all-time favorites. It's not the all-time favorite, Coach Norm Stewart. I've known Coach Stewart a long time, going back to my days as a player at Oklahoma State, where I always loved competing against his teams because I thought he was one of the meanest, toughest, orneriest competitors there was, period.
You know, Coach was a unique individual, so anytime we traveled on the road, fans, they didn't like him, so they were on him, but they were on him more than they were on the players.
Everybody loved the chance, sit down Norm, every time he came to town, and I think deep down, Coach probably loved it too.
We were at Iowa State one game. We had a great team. We were starting to pull away, some maybe bad calls for Iowa State. It was loud, it was a timeout, and Coach pulled us over and he pulled us away from the bench. And as he was talking to us, there was a gentleman that came down from the stands who was using a few choice words. What the gentleman didn't know was that Coach Stewart was the best of the best. It was about 53 choice words in a row. And being a college student, we start thinking, you know, we've heard of those words before, but never as a noun, as a verb, as a pronoun, as an adjective. So we thought it was about 50 plus words, and then he told the guy, get on your tractor and go home because the Tigers are going to win.
his name is Stormin' Norman, and he is, or was, but most people don't realize he's very tender. He's got a real, emotional side to him, and I think one of his proudest accomplishments is the fact that he was is founder of Coaches versus Cancer.
So many years ago, when Coach Stewart actually came down with colon cancer, and then subsequent to that, he started this program himself, where on a yearly basis he would try to raise funds for the American Cancer Association, and so that has advanced tremendously. So now they have raised millions and millions of dollars.
When you stop and think about, through his efforts in the American Cancer Society, Coaches vs. Cancer has been able to raise over $100 million. And coaches such as myself all across America has used their platform to bring awareness and raise funds for this dreadful disease.
I travel the country as a broadcaster and in business. When you say University of Missouri, they think of Coach Stewart nationwide.
I continue to see Coach Stewart at the golf course periodically or other social events. He's always ahead of me. He's always going to be my coach.
Coach, I've been a fan from afar for a long time and certainly appreciate everything you've done for our sport, but more importantly, everything you've done for others.
Coach, congratulations.
Congratulations, Coach Stewart.
Congratulations, Coach Stewart.
Norm, congratulations on your induction into the Homecoming Hall of Fame. I love you.
On behalf of the University of Missouri, it is my pleasure to induct Norm Stewart into the Mizzou Homecoming Hall of Fame.
Is this mine?
Yes.
Andrew, Peggy, congratulations. I'm flattered to be on the dais with you and honored in the same group. So wonderful, wonderful to have you back in Columbia, Missouri. The one thing you should never do is to give a coach, and particularly an old one, a microphone. Have you all got anything planned? No, they told me I had 2 minutes. But I want to tell you, since I've been here, I've had 3 glasses of water, 2 things of tea, and a cup of coffee. So I'm not going to be here longer than 2 minutes. I must make some comment. Andrew and Peggy, Andrew, you said your English wasn't that good, and so you went into math. I didn't know either one of them existed. So I had a little basketball. Thank God. If you look back in the history of this great university, you see all the wonderful, wonderful people that have been so successful. Politicians, entrepreneurs, business people, doctors, lawyers, everyone. And yet, there's something that can bring everybody together, and that is a sport, whether it be basketball, football, tennis, whatever it happens to be. And in a way, if we keep this in perspective, in a way, it's kind of sad that we pay more to see a basketball game than we do to go to zoology class. But you can get more people to go to a basketball game than you can to the zoology class. There's so many things that I'd like to say. So much of it is involved with the people that you've had the good fortune to cross paths with, the leaders here at the university through the years, all the leaders across this state and across this country. I am immensely proud of so many things that have been able to come my way. The best thing that ever happened to me was when I came to the University of Missouri, and that was second. The best thing that ever happened to me was when I got here, I met this little girl. And I want to tell you, if you want to be successful, meet a little girl like Virginia Cole Zimmerly, because she has been the one that should be here. And I want to remind you, I have a film of what you said. And we were, I'm sorry, but I love to tell stories. We were on an airplane. Our son is a captain with Delta Airlines, been off the earth. He's 3 years younger than his actual Earth age, because that's how many hours he has flown. If you take 24 hours a day and multiply it times the weeks and times the years, he has been off the Earth over 3 years. But we took a trip so that he could be the captain while we were flying. We're sitting in the airplane and we landed, and the person that was with us happened to be a medical doctor, and there was an emergency on the plane. So we got to meet the doctor through the medical emergency. It wasn't mine, but we were talking, and she was telling us that they had been married for a long time. And I said, how long? And she said, 40 years. And I said, that's just wonderful, absolutely fantastic, 40 years. I said, could I tell you something without taking away from your wonderful relationships? And she said, well, sure. I said, we've been married 61 years. And she said, all right, well, I want to ask you a question. Has there ever been a time when you just wanted to wash your hands? And I said, yes, last night. The wonderful thing about it is, again, to all the wonderful people, I'm so proud of the players and the people that I had the opportunity to represent. You saw two people that are here. One is the board of curator, John Sunbold, who's a great player. I didn't let him shoot enough. The other is Dr. Greg Flaker, one of the leading cardiologists in the Midwest and in the United States. And I can't believe that you've actually turned 40, Greg. Yeah. He's actually just about the But on behalf of my wife and my family, thank you for this wonderful honor. This is a great place. And I want to add one thing in closing. When I came here from a small town, Shelbyville, great town, I was told by an individual, everybody was telling me, and you know everyone in a small town, where to go to school. I was told by one individual, don't go to the University of Missouri. I said, okay, why not? He said, well, it's so large you'll get lost. And I said, well, you know what, I think I'll go ahead and try it, and if I do, you come and find me. So it is a place, and it can be imposing to a lot of people, but it's a great place, and you won't get lost. There's a lot of great people. There's a lot of support people, and it used to be you could talk about these things. It used to be a great party school, but I don't. I assume we can't say that anymore. I think that's why my recruiting went pretty well with some of the players. Thank you. So many people I've seen and see all the time. Nice to see you again. Welcome back to the homecoming, and let's get us a win tomorrow. All right?
Congratulations, Coach. I think if I remember right, I think we evened up things in the Stewart household, because one of the things you didn't mention about Virginia was that she got her homecoming honor a long time ago when she was homecoming queen here at Mizzou, back when she was a student. Is that right? So she was one up on you until today, maybe, or maybe she's always one up on you. Who knows? We'll see. What a special day. We appreciate you joining us. Let's have the class stand one more time and recognize the Hall of Fame class 2017. Please stand, Peggy, Andrew, Norm.